I'm going to start with the first one. And this one has to do with the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, sir. So, what has happened as of late is they have the memorial. Now, I put out a prophecy about how an angel was going to pass over into the kingdom halls of the Jehovah's Witnesses. All because in 2024, the memorial then was done on the night of Purim and not on the night of the Passover. And the reason that I had actually lamented, and if you had noticed that there was a whole series about the Jehovah's Witnesses and the whole prophecy series there of it, was the fact that they were actually transitioning towards Catholicism. So one of the reasons and one of the things about this is it's just a warped teaching that they're trying to integrate it with the goddess Ishtar, hence why we have Easter, right? So that is what it's predicated upon. And Ishtar was actually the Babylonian figure for what they've now sort of remixed, and Satan has helped to do that through the Catholic Church, and they said that it's now celebrating the Mother Mary or the Virgin Mary, and that is what the warped teaching and of course the obfuscation, and the point of the obfuscation was based on the whole blurring of that there's a lack of distinction between the goddess, as I explained, of Babylonia, and the fertility goddess, I should say, and of course the chosen vessel to birth the Messiah in Mary, and that was the whole, that's all it's just predicated upon. And secondly, and the main thing is the fact that when they've now transitioned towards Catholicism and have done this whole Purim situation where they've now done their memorial on the night of Purim, whereas they don't actually state and explain to their, I actually wanted to say sheeple, but being a sheep is a good thing in the message of Christ. However, when I'm talking about the version of sheepish, and meaning that you do not think and you're just not discerning, and God gives you that discerning that you're not to be followers of man, but you be followers of him, and meaning that you're to be followers of the Most High God, and talking about the actual shepherd who laid down his life in the Lord Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, a lot of people are being led to their death because of the fact that they're just listening to these 6 or I don't know how many now, I think it's 9 of them, the governing body members, who are now actually just changing up everything, changing their doctrine, because now that they've started doing all of this and changed over the memorials, which was always ever taking place on the night of the Passover, starting 2024, there was a changing and it started becoming Purim. So I actually have to say this right here. And what actually happened that day is that I was summoned to go over and attend the Jehovah's Witnesses or service there of it just before the Passover. It was like basically the Sunday before the actual Passover. So I had to now be in attendance and be in the hall there. And I didn't know why I had to go there. I was actually worried that the actual angel, or was it the angel of death, who had given me the message that I must stay away, might turn up and I'm there. But, of course, when God tells you to do something, puts it in your heart to go do something, I did it. So I just started praying that. I'm thinking, please just let nothing happen right now. And effectively, after coming out and getting out of that service and making sure that I get back home just before the dawn of that evening or that day, right? Or I should say, sorry, not dawn, but dusk of that day. And I realized, okay, that's what I pretty much had to do, because there was no drama or anything, but I was still tailing to ensure that the Passover of the 7 days means that there will be no disaster, or just ensure that nobody goes to the Kingdom Hall on that 7th day. Nothing happened. And then, of course, I was also tailing it to the fact that there was also that very day, which is, sorry, not the very day, but then there's second opportunity to celebrate the Passover, which is the second Passover would be the month after that. So there is that once off day where it's like another opportunity, and still nothing happened then. So I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. I know I read that properly, and I also heard the voice properly, that on that seventh day of the Passover, that's when the Lord himself said he will pass over, right? So yeah, I was thinking, okay, I'm now looking stupid, and I had a whole series on all that blog covering this, and I'm thinking, I'm now looking stupid, I don't know what's going on, only to see that, hang on, they've now decided to rehash things, and on the 20, meaning that on the in 2027, they're now going to run their memorial again during Purim. So people, brace yourself, that 22nd of March 2027, and I'm sorry that I took the long way to get around there, is once again when the Jehovah's Witnesses and the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses have set the night of the memorial. And if you look, it's on the night of Purim once again. Now, here's the occultic things. We just had the red blood moon, and we're just about to get into Purim into as far as the Jewish calendar right now. Now, the red blood moon and all of that, of course, has significance in pagan culture, when full moons and everything are supposed to be nights of full manifestations of something. And of course, I'm talking blood red and blood moon. You know exactly what I'm talking about, that there is also this infatuation that they have over this blood doctrine at the Jehovah's Witnesses. So expect more trouble to happen. And it's not going to be this year, like I just explained and lamented, because they've put the memorial on the actual night of the Passover for 2025 and for 2026. But then for 2027, they've now once again decided to be daring and put the memorial then. Because I do believe that these governing body members, which I've already lamented to the fact that they are followers of Satan, and they know that they're following Satan, right? And they're stocking themselves up some treasures here on earth, but then they don't care as far as what happens to their souls in the afterlife and their eternity. But in any case, that's who they've dedicated themselves to, is Satan. It's all the Jehovah's Witnesses, in other words, is a satanic organization just dressed up to look like it's Christian. Having said all of this, during the night of the Purim, that should not long thereafter the red blood moon, I do believe that the governing body members are attempting to sacrifice more people in the Jehovah's Witnesses congregations for some sort of, I don't know if it's to extend their life. I think so. I think that's what it's about. I think that there's some sort of thing that they feed off of, and giving this sacrifice to Satan, that they will be, extend their temporary lives here on earth for a reason. And I also lamented on my channel that I do believe, and it wouldn't shock me if these people are actually hundreds of years old. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, people. It wouldn't shock me that because of the fact that they've so served Satan and all of this, and they already know what's going to happen to them in the afterlife when God comes and brings in his judgment, but they don't care. So what they always try to do, and what I was seeing in the whole vision, it wasn't a vision, but it was in the dream, as to that particular segment. And then there was a vision that happened thereafter when I got up from the dream. But having said all of this, what I was actually seeing was that they were pretty much always just looking to buy time. So that was the main thing of them. And as they were listening to Satan, and Satan was giving them direction, that's when they were looking to get out of that, and they were going to get off of the whole Passover and the angel sort of passing through the kingdom halls of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And they will scurry off and go do something else. But I'd already explained that I do believe that they are going to be amongst the 10 kings. They're going to be sitting on the first beast, or they're going to be ruling with the first beast, which I've already covered over here, that being that the position of Pope and the empire. But I'm not going to get into too much of it and get it just to convolute people and to confuse people at this point, because it's a lot to take in. But the other evidence of the fact that they're transitioning to Catholicism is the fact that they've now apparently, what I've heard from Rick Farron's channel, which is the Six Screens Network, and he's a former elder. He says now there's now an Elder Appreciation Day. And now it's like they have to honor their elders and show them why they appreciate them so much, which is something that's completely different to their normal doctrine, because they don't even celebrate birthdays. So now they were saying that, that brings honor to yourselves, and that brings too much honor to yourselves, but it's okay to bring the honor to the elders. But that's second of all of that, because firstly, there was a change to the doctrine that they can get their forgiveness from the elders. So what I'm saying, people, in other words, and not to beat around the bush, is the fact that the elders, these very elders sitting there, right, whoever, if they survive that onslaught that I was talking about, that's going to happen in 2027, is the fact that they're going to now become what is known in the Catholicism as the fathers. So don't be fooled that right now they call themselves brother this, brother that. Maybe my transition to them being called elder and having that as the title, elder this, but they're going to become father, whoever their first name is, and just like it is in the Catholicism. And of course, the Lord Jesus said that call no man father here on earth, and that was for a reason. And this has to do with this change in their doctrine, and of course, the greater umbrella of modern day mystery Babylon. So this is where we are as far as that one. So please, people, I will keep you all posted, and of course, I will post this on the YouTube channel so that people, please just earmark once again the 22nd of March, 2027. And I'm talking that, of course, when I made the whole prophecy, is that seventh day of the Passover following the 22nd of March, when the Jehovah's Witnesses will make their Purim. So, not make Purim, but when they'll have their memorial on the night of Purim. But following that, there's going to be the actual Passover. And that's when the governing body, I believe, are going to now start ensuring that people are sacrificed to Satan. And because they've struck the court of God. Now, I had to go there and put my life on the line. I've already done that. It's nothing, because God has already made me do that. It's nothing new. But of course, I had to now go intercede, just as a sign of the fact that this is very, very true about God's wrath and God's anger towards this. That I myself, who stayed away from the Watchtower and the Jehovah's Witnesses as one who was studying with them, for a reason, right? So that Passover, as you noticed, I went there, and like I've pretty much, and nothing happened. To the point where I looked stupid, but I was looking stupid at my own expense. You get what I'm saying? So this is a heartful plea that, guys, please, rather safe than sorry. And I know something is definitely going to come, and it's going to come in 2027 from the looks of the calculations. And I'll tell you why. Because Passover, like I explained, is 7 days, right? Apart from that second opportunity, which is only 1 day a month following that. So the Passover, right, which is going to be on Wednesday, the 21st of April, 2027, and finish on Thursday, the 29th of April, 2027. So that Thursday of the 29th, 2027, when I said I was at the hall, even in the dream, I was saying, and I was just making sure that people do not go inside the hall. That night is that particular congregation that I was studying with and I was attending. It's when their midweek meeting is on Thursday nights. I barely could speak, but anyway. So their midweek meetings are on Thursdays. And of course, it's always at night when you have your midweek meetings. And that's when that angel is going to be passing over. And there's going to be terrors. And I believe it's going to happen all around the world, because the governing body is situated in New York, right? And I'm all the way out in South Africa. So I know what I'm talking about, and this is going to definitely be hitting the global body, because at the end of the day, they are called the global governing body for a reason. So people, please just ensure that, I do believe that there are people will start falling away, and those are very smart and very tuned in individuals. I do commend them for that are actually listening to the voice of God and the voice of reason, telling them just to stay away and get out of her, as the commandment was to as far as the spiritual Babylon. And they're just aiding that agenda of Satan. And people are going to get killed off, so to speak. Not everyone will actually listen, unfortunately, but I do pray that everyone just comes into their true selves and listening to the voice within, and stay away from the kingdom halls that night. And please just stop attending. I mean, these guys are liars. They're changing everything anyway. Why would you want to put yourself in harm's way, even if it's a man who sounds crazy and stupid? But you've seen that a lot of strange things are happening, and people are getting killed because of the fact that they're refusing to take blood transfusions and all this. And it's for a reason. They're actually sacrificing people. And unfortunately, not enough waking up in time. But essentially, this is just a voice of plea, just me beseeching you to just stay safe and stay away from any harm and any trouble that may follow. Or will, I should say, because God never lies.